Hey everybody, how you doing? As Wiggy Baby said, wait, what this title has my attention, and as well it should. I hope everybody's well. I just got off the phone with a friend who provided some great information, who is a great source, and told me that I should keep my eye peeled on. We should keep our eyes peeled collectively on June 15th. Mark that date, June 15th. June 15th. June 15th, not Juneteenth, June 15th. Uh, right here, June 15th. Hey, Ron, how you doing? June 15th is the date to watch for, because on that date, the state of California is expected to announce its budget appropriations for the 2021-22 budget. And one of those appropriations, we hope, we pray, is $200 million from the state of California for Howard Terminal. I was told it's a couple hundred million. A couple means two. So that's a hypothesis. Okay. Now, there's a chance it couldn't happen. It's to be appropriated. It's to be, out there. And hey, that is what could happen on the 15th. And if you're looking for any other kind of measure that this expenditure can happen, look no further than Southern California, where the state of California is slated to put roughly $1 billion into infrastructure improvements, okay, related to next year, related to the expected 2028 Olympics for Los Angeles. So if we use that as a model, then we could expect that the state of California is going to get involved in Howard Terminal in the same way. Okay. And the importance of this cannot be underscored. It cannot. Let me go through the comments. Juan, how you doing? June 15th, as I said, June is soon. Yep. Don't give me hope, not like this. Hey, pray to the Lord. There you go. And you have connections. Ask Libby and give us a wink. No, I don't have to say it. And so, and the other bit of news, by the way, is that the battery is going to be coming to Oakland, but that's another story. I was going to actually I was all set to talk about that, but this is a bigger story. This is a much bigger story. And if this comes through, and I'm going to say it just like this, if this comes through, that would cover roughly 50%, a little less than 50% of the infrastructure cost at Howard Terminal, 475 million. It would be a big chunk of help. And it would free up the expected tax increment revenue to really apply for other community-wide uses and for construction of a larger stock of affordable housing and other types of services, like, for example, a shuttle service, which is 700 million, to serve the area on ballpark game days. It's significant in that it marks the first time in California's 21st century history that the state has openly invested in a sports venue in some fashion, be it infrastructure or subsidy. And California is normally not known for doing this. It also completely erases, if it happens, it completely erases the idea that Las Vegas has money and Clark County has money, but California does not. As I've always said, and I don't mean to be derisive of Clark County and Las Vegas and Nevada, but they're more show money. And what happened with Mark Davis was a kind of a roll of the dice in an environment where really that kind of subsidy should not have occurred, but for Sheldon Adelson and a Republican Nevada legislature. You don't have that now. And so they're trying to do everything they can to not spend public money on new sports venues during a pandemic. The state of California is so cash rich right now, it doesn't have that worry. Okay. It doesn't. And it's a magical place for California to be, particularly at this time when it needs that money. So, California to be, excuse me, particularly at this. So, it's a game changing bit of news, and again, I say with the appropriate caution, it may not happen. In other words, it may be rejected. Okay, but given the where California is going, I seriously doubt that's the case. I really, really do. I believe this game-changing bit of news will signal a new era for California in terms of infrastructure spending. Okay, let's see here. It says A's are moving to Vegas. How confident are you the state will go through with this? I would say about 60%. 66% is a statistical sure thing. So I am 6% from that. Okay. So that's how confident I am. If it does come through, you should logically forget about, first of all, the city council saying no and the A's moving to Las Vegas. This will be a crucial development, right? Every eye in the sports world should be trained on the 15th of June in the California budget and what comes out. I'm telling you, it's that huge. It really is. It really is. It in one fell swoop will massively change the narrative here. And I can't say that enough. It really will. As far as A's definitely moving to Las Vegas, maybe let's take that, okay? And I'll say one thing: I don't blame the Athletics for trying, for a host of reasons that they should have to deal with. But the great news is the state of California is a new player in this. Okay, the last time we had something similar to this was Jerry Brown giving the Warriors and the late San Francisco Mayor Ed Lee clearance to use their old redevelopment zone for financing for infrastructure, as well as fast tracking the environmental review process. The A's have the fast track, to the chagrin of some people, but this is another step that hasn't been involved in any other project. And, it's for good reason. It shows that if it comes through and it's approved, well, the simple fact that it's news shows that there's somebody like the governor at the state of California level who thinks that, hey, you know what, the A's should be in Oakland in California and not someplace else. Okay. The simple fact that we are talking about this sends that message. If it doesn't get approved, that's another story in itself as to why that happened. Okay. So there are a lot of angles here. There really are. There are a lot of angles here. And so and I'm writing a text here, and this on the A's. The A's. Boom. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So anyway, so anyway, here we go. Hey, how you doing? And so Jesse Rodas says, so why did no one stand up for the Raiders? I can tell you what happened. Mark Davis did not give the city of Oakland a chance. Okay. And the mayor. And I remember on the 15th of September, of 2015, I went to visit the mayor, and she specifically told me then that Mark Davis was not returning her phone calls, and she was very exercised about it. In total, the mayor was not treated with the greatest respect by Mark Davis, and that is how she perceives it. And she's not going to say it, but she has no problem with me saying it. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. That is purely and simply how she perceives it. By contrast, Dave Cavall has moved heaven and earth to have a great relationship with the mayor. And that's what you're supposed to do, okay? And you're not supposed to make the mayor feel like you don't respect her because she's a woman, all right? And there was a lot of that subtext there. There's no way to sugarcoat it at all. That's exactly the case. And I don't think that there was anybody that Mark listened to say, hey, you know what, you need to maybe alter your relationship with Libby a bit. I will say at the town hall meeting, they got along a lot better, and the appearances were a lot better. But in total, no. And again, I'm not excusing how Libby has handled it herself. There's as usual in these, there's mistakes to go all around. But that was a big one to answer your question. If Mark Davis had worked to have a great relationship with the mayor, she would have moved heaven and earth to get legislation that helped the Raiders at the Coliseum, particularly with respect to the gigantic need to lift the Coliseum with respect to the sea level rise problem, right? So, so that, there. Now, as far as Oakland losing the Warriors, that really was the fault of Oakland Mayor Gene Kwan, who I don't think really saw the Warriors coming, based on what she had said to me at the Alice B. Toklas Democratic Club breakfast that morning of 2011. So, there you go. So here we go. I hope that answers your question, basically right there. Okay. But I'm answering it as candidly and as honestly as I can. That's what happened. When you go and you develop a large scale project in a city, it's a good idea to move heaven and earth to have great relationships with your elected officials there. And the Raiders learned the lesson in the Vegas parlance, but in Oakland, their relationships were uneven. Okay. If the A's leave the city, it'll be a very devastating experience for the whole folks having seen the team leave for Las Vegas. That goes without saying. What about the Warriors? I answered that. Sam Hagler, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? Hello? And yes, sir. And he says, thank you for the answer. My pleasure. Well, the answer itself didn't give me pleasure. It is what it is. We need to keep sports teams in Oakland. Yeah, and losing 3 sports teams would be extremely damaging to Oakland's culture, psychology, and its will and initiative to complete big public projects. We need this. And Wigglebay says, Oakland finally needs to bet on themselves. I think this is the ticket to do so. Absolutely. There's no reason for the A's to want to walk away from this. There's no reason for anybody, to say, hey, this can't work. And I think the whole Vegas maneuver was a mistake anyway, because it's politically tone deaf. Jeff says, I'll put a nail in the coffin of the whole city of Oakland, potentially not getting another pro team. I won't go that far for this reason. It's the wealth of the Bay Area, which still exists. All right. NBA Las Vegas, not so fast. The wealth, even in the pandemic, still exists. Okay. So I don't look for that to go south at all. I believe that the economic nature of the Bay Area is such that it will always be a leader in terms of the production of wealth. And it has been going back to the 80s, going back to the emergence of the information economy. Okay. It has been, and there's again no sign of going away. So I don't see that. I don't see that wealth going away at all as far as this. Okay. Oakland remains the number one destination for an NFL organization. All right. Number one. NBA, I'm confident, will expand in Seattle with that new arena from the NHL team. The 32nd team, though, who knows, probably free for all on that slot. Yeah, I think I want to get Jackie Robinson, the Las Vegas arena developer, on my show here to talk about that project as well. But again, this is a gigantic development. The simple fact that this is a possibility in and of itself is a massive game changer for Oakland. I mean, it is just huge. Okay, it really is. I'm going to come back with one more bit of live news I want to get out, and I'm going to cut this one short at this point. Okay, I know but you have the news, and oh, hold on a second. Matthew Silva says, Matthew, I haven't seen you in some time. He says, hey, Zenny, make that 4 sports teams. Don't forget the NHL California Golden Seals moved out of Oakland in the mid-'70s, becoming the Cleveland Barons. All right. And NBA Las Vegas team. Right. But here's the thing. There's an old saying, don't count your chickens regarding departure until they're hatched. Okay. And I think that is very much the case here. There are a lot of people involved in here, moving parts, a lot of powers that be that we probably wouldn't think are interested in this, who are moving forward. And if Jerry Brown was still governor, that would never happen. Yeah. And but we have Gavin. So, and not only that, we have Gavin, who's, fighting for his, let's face it, my friend since 1998 is fighting for his political life. He shouldn't be, because Gavin was put in a situation that I don't think anybody will come out of without having made at least one mistake. Okay. Just, all right, period. But Gavin has met the moment. He understands that ultimately money solves the problems this state and the United States are facing in the middle of this pandemic. And he's willing to spend it wisely and in such a way that works to maintain California's culture and not have it, go through what's happened. You had torn asunder by these economic forces that seemingly had no control over, right? He's making some great swings at the bat to straighten it out. And yeah, maybe a threat of recall is a good thing. I mean, who are people going to vote for to replace him? The Rock? I mean, come on. By the time Gavin is finished, that recall election will be nothing more than a joke. And it should be. It already is a joke, really. So I still vote for him. Definitely, please vote for Gavin. Definitely, please vote for Gavin. Definitely. All right. So 12:34 in the morning in the East. I have one more live stream I'm going to do. I'm going to talk more about this news about the battery, San Francisco coming to Oakland. It's going to be another short live stream, but I want to get that information out there. Subscribe to Zenny62 and bookmark oaklandnewsnow.com. And this is not the last you'll hear about this. We'll see you. Thank you.